All right, this week we're going to talk about plan views and setting up sheets to get started actually creating drawings from the model that you've made. So download the file that I've given you, this views and sheets, and you can follow along and do some work with me, and then you'll turn it in at the end in some form or another. Yeah, probably just turn in the Revit file would be the easiest way to deal with that. But read what I say in Blackboard. Don't hold me to that at the beginning of the week here. Okay, so you've worked in 3D, you've worked on plans, you got all this stuff going here. These are known as views. So plan views, RCPs or reflected ceiling plan views, elevation views, and then we've got a variety of sections and details and things like that. If you have created structural views, there'll be another folder up here for structural views, and it will list all that kind of stuff. All right, and so the views, plan views, they refer to levels that you've created. And the levels are a datum element that establishes elevations within the building, okay, or the model. And one of the things, if we look at let's go to a south elevation view. And if you notice here, the datum markers, the level markers, some are blue, some are black. Okay, so the blue ones mean there is a plan view associated with that level. As you can see over here, I've got, five levels or 5 plan views. I don't have a site level because sites are something totally different, okay? But I've got 4 building levels here that have a plan view associated with it. So I could open up any of these and see what's going on. Over here in my model, I've got a parapet level and an elevator pit level that are not showing up in my plan view. The reason for that is you may want or need levels in your project that you really don't need a view for them. So you create the level and then you come back over here and you can right click and delete it. Now, if let's say we've done that or whatever, I've got a level and now I need a view for it. So we'll say the elevator pit. What I do is I go to view and I go plan views, hit my little pull down there, and I want to create a floor plan just for the elevator pit. And it only pulls up levels that do not have a view associated with it. Okay, so the check mark down here is do not duplicate existing views, and we'll talk about duplicates in a little bit. So I want to create a plan view for the elevator pit. So we'll say okay. And here's my plan view for the elevator pit, and now you would go in and adjust your view range and underlay and those kinds of things however you wanted it, okay? And since this has footings involved with it, we want to go down, so I have no levels below that, so I could just put in a negative value here. -1 foot is sufficient. And what I'm picking up right here is I've got a footing underneath this elevator shaft. Okay, so that's how you can create a view from something. Now maybe I don't need a reflected ceiling fan for level 3 because level 3 is my roof, basically. Yeah, level 3 is the roof. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. But if I needed to add a reflected ceiling plan, it would be the same way. Now, let's look at reflected ceiling plans because they look up. We've kind of talked about it a little bit when we were doing modeling. They look up and the view range is reversed. So my top is still the top, but I'm looking up at it. And you notice you got the cut plane and the bottom is grayed out because how high up is how I want to look. And normally you would just look up to the level above. All right. We've got that. Okay, now there's a thing called plan regions. I'm going to close that reflected Zealand plan. I'm going to close this one. Let's open up level 1. Now, if I were to show you a camera view of this wall, I've got 4 windows. You can see they highlight there. This one's showing up because I haven't changed the head height to it. So I wanted to leave it there so we could see it. But a plan region is where you can adjust the cut plane and the view depth, the view range, to pick up something that's not visible on your drawing. A good example of that is windows that are higher than the cut plane, or maybe like in your course in Residential 2, we've got to put in beam pockets in the foundation walls for a steel beam or a wood beam that carries the first floor joist. We have to do a plan region for that so that the beam pocket will show up. So the way we do that, here I'm in my level 1 plan, and you do this so you follow along with me. And we'll go to plan views, and we're going to go plan region. And you can, look at the help file there. And normally you could do a rectangle, but since this one is at an angle, we're going to, we're just going to draw a box around that wall right there, okay? And I'm going to come over here and change my view range. And I'm going to change my cut plane to 6 feet. And it doesn't really take effect until you save it, okay? All right, and so now you can see it picked up all those other windows. So let's go to shaded. I don't know if that made it any better or not. But the one right there is not showing up because it's, I need to change it. So let me select all of those windows. Select. And I was making these, I want to say 7 feet. Okay. And so now they're all showing. I don't like that. I'm going to change back. So that's how a plan region works. Now, the green dash box around that will not print. If you're doing screen captures, it will show up, but it doesn't print. And after you get everything done and settled and ready to go, you can hide it if you would like to. It's kind of up to you. You can leave them visible. That way they're there and you can edit them. But that's how we would adjust for things that are not within the regular cutting plane that wouldn't show up. All right. Let's talk about duplicating views, because sometimes you may you need to duplicate something. You remember back when we did the area plans where we color coded a legend, and each room had a different color, and then we had a legend that went with that. Okay, so you can duplicate a plan so that you can do different things with it. Okay, now there's three different ways to duplicate. And you say, well, why do we need to duplicate? Well, you can only place a view, okay, a view over here. You can only place it on one sheet. So if I need a floor plan for dimensions and room tags and doors and windows and things like that, maybe I need another floor plan for furniture or interior specific notations, okay, like wall finishes and wall tags and artwork and things like that, I need a duplicate view. Okay, I can duplicate a view for electrical. I can duplicate a view for plumbing, for mechanical. I can duplicate it for structural. So there's different types of duplicates. So we do, there is a need for them. So to do that, we're going to stay here on level one, and we're going to play back and forth a little bit so that, well, I'll tell you what, let's go to ground floor first. Because I specifically put some dimensions in here so you can kind of get an idea. So on ground floor, I want to come up here and go duplicate view. And if I just go duplicate, it only duplicates the model. Okay, so you renamed it here, ground floor, copy one. So it's the model only. And so if I put, notice the dimensions didn't come over. If I'd had room tags, they would not have come over. It's just the model. All right, so I'm gonna undo that. And I'm going to do it again, but duplicate with detailing. And this copies those view specific elements. Things like annotations and tags and dimensions and text and things like that. So it copies those things over if you need them or if you don't. All right, so the third method, I'm just going to undo out of that, is we go duplicate as a dependent. And what this means is that they remain synchronized. Okay, and if you look at your browser, it has different descriptions for those. Okay, so we got ground floor dependent. All right. And so whatever, and if you notice, it looks exactly like the other one. So whatever we do here will affect our original view. Whatever we do in the original view will affect this view. And this particular one is good if you have a rather large building and you need to break it up onto separate sheets. And so the way we do that is we create, well, in this case, and this is kind of a weird shaped building, but we're going to go ahead and do it. So create one dependent view and then create a second dependent view. All right, and so let's rename number one, let's rename it ground floor left. And in the other one, let's rename it ground floor right. Okay, so now let's turn on our crop lines. Let's see. Oh, there's our crop. We just need to zoom out some. So let's adjust our crop region. I'm going to pull them in a little bit. But we want to, let's see, yeah, we're on the right. So let's move that left crop region over to the middle of the stairway there. And let's go to our ground floor left. And let's do the same thing. I don't want to move it. We'll leave it kind of there with the, so the full stairway is showing. Okay. Oh, I just noticed something that I shouldn't have done. Let's see. Turn on do not crop. I need to move my elevation markers in because that's going to affect me later. Sorry about that. Okay. Now I can go back and crop it. Whoop. Maybe I don't need it on that anyway. Okay, so now I've got two of them done there. So let's go back to our ground floor and show crop regions. Now that shows the dashed lines for my two different views that I have that are dependents. And so now we want to put in a what's known as a match line. And let's see where we at. View sheet composition. I'm looking at my notes. I thought it was, oh, right there it is. I didn't see the word. So match line. And what I want to do is I want to draw a line in between the overlaps. I don't really want to put it on a grid. Because I don't want it to be confused with the grid itself. And we can change constraints on this because as it is now, it's going to show up from, bottom to top. But let's say for whatever reason, we're only going to do, well, let's just save it and then you'll see. Okay, so now you see there's my match line right there, okay? So if I go to my ground floor left, there's the match line. If I go to ground floor right, there's the match line. If I go to an elevation view, maybe they're turned off in this view. That was strange. I thought they were supposed to show up there. Anyway, they may. If they do, you can change the constraints on those in that place, okay? All right, now then, if we want to reference these views, so let's say, this is a little confusing for you, I know. But I do want to finish this one up in this video here. And so, let's see. View references right here. And my options are either, all of these different views. The best way to deal with it is just go with related views. And we're going to say the target is going to be ground floor left. And so I'll select that one. And then it gives me a little placeholder here for a view name. And so I guess it placed it for me. Oh, no, it's still moving. My computer's running a little slow today. So I'm going to place that one there. And then I want to place one for the right, and I can place it now and then come back in and edit it. Okay, now it doesn't make any sense now, but once we create sheets, those sheet names will show up there. And if I come to my left floor plan, oh, it won't show up here, but it'll show up on my sheets when I get them put in. So we're going to pause this video and then we'll come back and start working on some drawing sheets.